Hello and welcome back to Sacred Magick 101. I am Sammy. Today we are going to continue the topic of ocean magic. Today we are going to be going over the different gifts the sea provides us as sea witches or ocean magic practitioners. So the first thing I want to say is that the ocean is a generous provider of precious gifts that the sea witch can work magic with. Okay? Really, you just have to walk upon the sandy shoreline to be presented with talismans and tools. If you visit the ocean with a desire in mind, don't be surprised when what you seek washes up at your feet, delivered by a foamy wave. When the ocean graces us with a gift, you must be sure to express thankfulness. Okay, either acknowledging the sacred item presented to you or by leaving an offering. Okay, any offering that you leave should be organic. Okay, maybe you can create an arrangement of shells and little stones or pebbles right by the shore. Okay, you can write words of gratitude in the sand, or you can even perform a small litter pick. Okay, it is very important that you do not put anything in the sea that doesn't belong there. Okay, so you have to be careful with plastics and other chemical man-made materials. Okay, you also need to be very, very cautious to avoid anything that could potentially pollute the ocean. Okay, uh, also, then this goes with any practice. Okay, with any practice, this goes with this, right? You have to be very mindful to not take more than what you actually need. There is an abundance of pebbles and shells and seaweed to be found. Okay. However, hoarding ocean treasures in too vast a quantity can cause imbalance and harm to like the ecology of the sea. Okay. Now, that being said, treat your beach calming as the magical experience that it is, delighting in the treasures that you choose to cherish. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the different gifts that the sea offers us. Okay, now the beach offers the sea witch a wealth of magical ingredients to use in their craft, from shells to driftwood. Okay, perhaps it is easy to forget, but it's like about the movable earth beneath our feet known as the sand. Okay, primordial grains. It shifts with the water, slips through our fingers, and is pliable when wet. Although it is composed of earthly elements, it still possesses the fluidity of water, making it an excellent addition to the sea witch who wants to bring earth energy into their craft. If water is the most impetuous element on this planet, then sand follows in just behind, the second most abundant substance on the planet. It is used in the construction of buildings and melted to create glass. Okay? Sand is ancient, smooth and molded by the ocean. It is a time capsule of the environment it occupies, right? Containing tiny particles of sea creatures along with the landscape. When you cup sand in your hand, you are holding the remains of life and crystal particles that took centuries to form. Sand is more than just a grainy substance. It is a building block for life. It's not as fertile as soil. It is a material burn of earth and water that we can manipulate and shape into what we wish to create. To connect with the symbolism held within the infinite grains of sand, it is helpful to understand exactly what it is. Sand is a collection of particles defined by its size. To be considered sand, the grains must be between 0.125 mm and 2 mm in size. Salt and sugar can count as sand when particles are as tiny as 0.06 mm in size. They form mud rather than sand. The majority of sand is formed by the erosion of mountains through severe weather. Rain, strong winds, and ice chip away at mountain faces and rocks, gradually breaking them down into minute particles. Okay? Now, it's washed away by rain. Sand builds up in rivers which eventually flow to the ocean where the sand is deposited. Ultimately, sand will one day become compacted and buried under like sediment, absorbed into the structure of rocks and mountains, only to be chipped away once more and transported back to the sea. This rhythm repeats on a 200 million year cycle, right? Showing sand to be infinite, yet ever changing. It represents the way in which energy is never destroyed, but transformed, possessing an impermanence that reminds us that although everything is fleeting, there are boundless opportunities to begin again. At the first glance, you may initially notice how the grains all appear uniform. A closer inspection might show a bit more variety, but the true extent of the diversity of sand grains is astounding. Viewed under a microscope, sand demonstrates a kaleidoscope level of beauty, deceased marine life, such as urchins, right? As well as microscopic shells and coral life on as miniature particles. Okay, it also contains vast quantities of quartz deriving from granite. When granite is eroded, it breaks down into silica, right? Feldspar and other minerals such as garnet and zircon. No two beaches are alike when it comes to the sand you will find. Even beaches that are located close together will be surprisingly different in their composition. Sand is connected to time. We talk of the sands of time that slip away, possibly in reference to the hourglass filled with the sand that measures the passage of minutes and hours. It is yet another anchor to the continual rhythms of life and death, as changeable as the tides, but on a much slower time scale. Okay, working with this symbolism, sand could be used in spells for healing, as time is considered one of the greatest healers around. Okay, sand also represents the potential to become something more. Having been crushed into its smallest possible form, the only way forward is to build itself back up into a rock once again. It is a raw material. There, it has to be reconstructed and transfigured. However, sand is in no hurry to be absorbed back into solid state. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, it will spend millennia moving through different stages. It carries a little piece of everything that it has come into contact with. To walk across the sand is to leave a signature of yourself behind, absorbed into the colossal collection of tiny grains. So, with that being said, We can utilize the power of sand when we want to build ourselves up, like after a trauma or a disappointment. Like sand, we carry a great deal of pieces of every experience we have ever had. A whole spectrum of feelings from joy to trauma. It literally contributes to the complex makeup of who we are. These experiences shape us, providing knowledge that we can use to move forward in the best direction. When you need to make a decision, place your hands in the sand and tap into the grounding energy and ancient wisdom held within those grains. You can do this at a beach or keep a bowl of sand on your altar. And it needs to be used for the purpose of tactical grounding. The duality of sand from the sea means that it is also symbolic of both life and death. The broken remains of the sea creatures blended with beneficial minerals and crystals. It holds a liminal energy, accommodating creatures whose lives have ended while at the same time containing the substance needed to create something new. Okay? This twofold nature means it could be used in spirit communication work or in honoring the dead. In a later video, I will discuss spells and regarding, right, sand, okay, as well as other things, okay, but this will offer more guidance on using sand in your craft. Okay, so keep an eye out for those other videos at a later time. Okay, now one thing you have to be aware of: if you collect sand from the beach, it is imperative to be safe. Sand on public beaches may conceal litter left behind others. Okay, so try to collect the wet sand from the shore, right? Then you need to dry it out at home by placing it on a shallow tray. Okay, alternatively, you can also purchase sand from like different craft stores, but it's not really something I would recommend. I just kind of more recommend just collecting it on your own at the beach. Okay, now some of the ways you can use your sand in your craft, we're going to go over that. Okay, so first, you fill a bowl, right, shaped like a shell, such as like a scallop or an oyster, and you're going to fill it with sand. Okay, draw a sigil or rune into it that represents your current aspirations. Okay, another one is when you need guidance, seek the wisdom of the sea by writing your question in the sand. You can either do this at the beach or at home in a tray of sand. However, look out for signs, okay, oracles or dreams that answer your question, right? Another way is use sand in spell bags or jars for wisdom, creativity, healing, or opening yourself up to spirit communication, right? Another one is keep a large bowl of sand for grounding before spells. Immerse your hands into it, experiencing the sensation of it moving through your fingers. Okay, so this video was all about the sand. Okay, very soon I will be also uploading another video of more gifts from the sea. Okay, so keep an eye out for that video. Once again, this is Sacred Magick 101 and I am Sammy. Thank you for joining. If you like this video and you like videos like this kind of content, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. That way you have access to all of our videos, right? Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. By doing so, it will send you a notification every time we upload a new video. Thank you for joining. Once again, I am Sammy. Be loved and be blessed. Have an amazing week.